We are live tonight for a side session with Varus. For those of you who watched last night, uh, you will remember that he had a unfortunate event where he was sent to the astral plane. While normally I don't DM situations like this, this is a situation that I can fit into the campaign as I had intended it. So we're rolling with it. And there's going to be there's going to possibly be some things revealed. There's going to be some questions arise. And we're going to roll from there. So you have your struggle with Jazzy, and you see him remove the bags. And as we described it, or as I described it last night, he scissored them. He put one into the other, and so glad you mentioned that. Better make sure. Okay. So great flash of light, and you find yourself perched much in the same position you were as you were interacting with Jazzy, on a stone. One small stone in a silver sea. And it pretty much falls into all the descriptions you've ever heard of the astral plane.
Which is none because of where I'm from.
Well, you as a player, not as a character.
Yes.
In the distance, you can see a small rowboat coming your direction. It's a small, even smaller figure inside of it in comparison to what you would expect a rowboat to be like. And you can hear this figure grunting every time he rows and grumbling to himself in a language you can't quite make out. But he's not real happy, at least he doesn't sound like he's real happy. And then as he's within speaking range, he says, Master, I'm almost there. I'm coming to get you. You've been expected. As he approaches closer, you note that the rowboat isn't actually in the water. It's floating above the water. And the act of him rowing isn't doing a damn thing. But the boat is moving. And also as he gets closer, you see it's not a human, it's a rather large imp. And he comes right up to you, and this 2 to 3 foot rock you're standing on starts sinking. And he pulls the boat up right next to you and says, Master, please get in.
So I'm looking around me. Obviously, the stone I'm in is
Slowly sinking.
I don't want to metagame, but I think that there should be several items that transported with me.
Yes, no, you're correct. You are correct. Those items are also around you. They are not sinking. They are floating on the water.
Okay.
Even the items that don't seem like they would float are floating on the water.
I push aside my curiosity for now, wanting to retrieve a few of them. One in particular being the shrunken bardo, which I believe was in said bag.
Okay.
Because that could be a potential source of housing, if you will, or temporary safety. Okay. Yes. Bardo. to pick up that sack of meat. I'm not touching that sack of meat. Bardo, torch, celestial lamp. And the chain, I think, are the only things I really care about.
Okay.
So I'm going to grab those 4 things. And leave the rest.
Okay. And these are they're floating around. They aren't necessarily in reach.
Is there anything within reach?
The chain seems to be drifting around you. You can probably reach it, yeah. But the little guy in the boat he bumped into the Bardo as he was coming in.
So it's moving in the direction, or is it moving out?
It's just more of a hit when he came up to you. There doesn't seem to be any current. Everything's just floating where it is.
Okay. I'm gonna test the water. I put like a foot into the water, and
Your foot goes as far into the water as you put your foot.
do I feel like I could sink into that water if I got into it? Do I feel any like resistance as I put my foot in?
There's no resistance, no.
So I can sink into it, but these items are just floating.
Your foot goes into the water as far as you push it into the water.
I pull my foot out and try to put it on top of the water.
It stays on top of the water.
When you collect those 4 items, I'm gonna be wary for a moment. Just
When you try to walk, though, there's no friction. Your feet just
move.
Master,
At this point-
just get in the boat. I'll help you.
I don't know you. I'm not sure I'm your master. I'm not going to discount the possibility. One moment.
But Master,
I'm just trying to like
But
think
Master,
around the situation.
I know you, and we've been expecting you.
If I'm your master, then please be silent for a moment. Let me think.
Yes,
And
Master. If you ask for me to be silent, I will be silent because I am a good
Now. And I imagine myself moving through this space.
You are able to move, not very quickly, more like a spoon through syrup.
That's fast enough. So I take a few moments to gather the items that I find could probably help me, and I do get in the boat.
Okay. Are you
Okay.
placing the items into a
My
container?
backpack.
You're putting them in. Okay. Okay.
As I get in the boat, I take my backpack off, put it in the boat, deposit these items, immediately put it back on. You know, I've got some potentially critical things in there for this scenario. I turn to the imp, say, okay, what is this about me being your master?
I'm not allowed to speak of it, Master, but please, get in the boat. We have places to go. We have things to do.
Okay, I'm in the boat.
Okay. He turns
Onward then.
He turns the boat back the direction he came from, and it seems to glide smoothly above the water. And as he goes, it goes a little bit faster, and it's just eventually you don't feel the motion, but you can sense it, and you're moving just through the space of skimming above this water. And he's facing backwards, but you're facing forwards, and you can see that there's an island coming up, and it's approaching quickly. And the boat starts slowing. As you get closer to the island, you can see that there is a building on there. There is what looks like, or what you would remember as, one of the temples. There is also a small villa next to it. There's a large mansion villa attached and adjacent to the temple itself. You can see that there are guards of many different races not necessarily human, but humanoid. Very much like the first temple you had gone to and were approached by the menagerie of beasts that came down the wall and that you had a altercation with, if you remember back that far. That was the unrecorded season 1.
It's a few months ago at this point. Not that long ago.
So he brings the boat to the edge of the shore of this island. He steps out and he offers to take your bag for you. Come, master, we're expected.
Thank you for the offer. I have my bag. And seeing these creatures, seeing this particular mix, and only having seen it once before, I also remember the draw that I had to the temple. But not only the temple, but to an individual at the temple.
You have the draw, a light draw, not nearly like normal, but this is a very strange place, as you've already observed. The temple has that little bit of a draw, but it's not pulling you like the normal temples would. The talisman, the runes and the design that is embedded in your chest from the curse, it isn't burning like it normally does when you come close to the temple. And the imp is pointing you towards the manor next to the temple. We're expected, master. The guards just eyes straight ahead, not
even looking at me.
not acknowledging you at all.
Just for safety's sake, can I roll sense motive?
You might, yes.
So 12?
He genuinely seems to be concerned about you and what his present task is. And he needs to get that taken care of. There's no good feeling, there's no bad feeling, it's just,
Urgency.
I got a fucking job to do, let's do it.
Right. I'll continue to follow the imp, being very wary of my surroundings, remembering what had transpired last time I came across this particular mix of individuals. Continually glancing over my shoulders, checking out corners, yada yada, but no, following the imp.
From what you can see, this island is probably the size of a football field. Rocky edges, flat island, temple, wall, villa, guards. Nothing out of the, well, everything out of the ordinary. Nothing striking you as being ominous. You can see that there's lights within the windows of the villa. There's movement in the villa. And he's leading you to the front door of the villa. And as you approach, the guards step to the door, open the doors, and just stand there waiting for you to enter. And he trots on inside. He's a good 2 feet shorter than you. He's more Jazzy size. Jazzer size.
A little bit.
Jazzer size.
A little bit bigger than Jazzy, actually, if he's 2 feet shorter. Because Varys is very tall.
Well, how tall's Varys?
6'4".
6'4", so he's
4'4".
He is around Jazzy's height, which is 3.5.
Okay.
So it's around that size. Large for an imp. He goes inside, and you can see a library as you walk through. You can see a sitting room. Down the hall, you can see the banquet hall through some doors. But before he gets there, there's a grand staircase that goes up over the banquet hall in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And he cuts off to the side into a door underneath the stairs. He says, "Come now, master. It's right this way."
And a small door.
He holds the door for you. What's that?
You said it was a small door?
Well, smaller than the giant.
Gotcha. So, an average door.
Yeah,
Alright.
like a you and me door, not like a, if you've ever been to a large, well, Europe house royal thing. So he just stands there, and you can see that there's a small set of stairs going down. It's not as lavish, but there it is.
I'm going to continue to follow him.
Oh, he points
He's
the way.
very insistent, yes.
He points the way. He's holding the door for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He's letting you pass by, and it's just stairs going down.
okay. I'll go down the stairs. Does this door look like it's lockable, or is it simply a door?
It's all of the doors have looked lockable. All of them, not necessarily locked. He didn't. When he let you through, he didn't unlock it with a key. He just opened it and let you through. He did not lock it behind him as he's following you down the stairs.
Okay. Well, I will go ahead and head down the stairs through the door.
The stairs go down a good ways, and then it opens up to a landing where you can overlook what looks like, oddly reminiscent of Frankenstein's lab.
I saw that movie once when I was a kid.
Except instead of all the electrical apparatus that it had over where the monster sat, this has what looks like some kind of mechanical surgical device. You can see little forceps, you can see little scalpels, you can see a little needle with thread, and it's all there.
Hmm.
And there's got to be like 40, 50 arms on it, and there's some magnifying glasses, and it's just this, it looks like a giant surgical machine like you'd see in any horror story.
Okay. I'm looking around for any individuals in this room at this point.
There is an individual. There is what looks like a healer priest, but more along the lines of a
Cultist?
Hey, buddy. There's so many negative connotations, so I don't want to use the term necromancer. But he looks very dark. He's very pale, hollow eyes. Looks all business. No personality whatsoever. All pro. And he looks at the imp and says, "Please prepare him." And the imp walks over. He says, "Master, if you don't mind, please set your things over here. We have a gown for you. We're going to remove
I
that
hold my
thing."
hand up in front of, just like, stop, right there. Prepare me? For what?
To remove the thing,
Why?
so that you can travel properly.
And please do tell. What does proper travel entail?
He looks a little bit confused as to what he should say. Excuse me. So the priest comes walking over, and he says, "Per our instructions, we are supposed to correct the apparatus in which transports you to make it more accurate, to bring you when and where you wish to be, or at least closer to when and where you wish to be."
What does this operation entail?
Okay, so he says, "We want to correct the workings of the apparatus. With that device the way it is, you can't get to where you need to be as accurately."
Need to be or want to be. So, are you telling me that you're going to change it or correct it in such a way that I will be able to move where I want to, when I want to.
Nothing is guaranteed. But it is purely for your benefit. For your wishes.
I'm gonna roll sense motive on this guy.
Straight up, he's just trying to do his fucking job.
Alright. Well, if I mean, obviously, as far as I can tell, he is genuine about what he has said.
Not a single person yet
Nope.
has given you any reason, other than the dark, foreboding look about them, to make you think that they're,
Hostile.
I don't want to use the hostile, they don't have ill intent.
Okay.
None of them have ill intent. They just want to do their job the way they were told to do it.
I looked over to the imp. Gown, please. Let's get this over with.
Well, it's not really a gown, it's more of a robe. It isn't earth, I mean, not the 20th century. So he gives you this robe. Comfortable, very comfortable, even by your standards. Which means it's been overly starched. And he shows you where there's a chest and a chair at the side with a little, dressing area where you can be private, you can be modest, even though, they don't give a shit. But, there it is for you. There's a chest with a key. You can lock up your stuff if you want. And they patiently wait.
As I open this chest, what am I very sure? As I open this chest, just normal chest.
It's an empty wooden chest with a key. Provided for whomever is dressing there.
All right. Well, I'll take off my armor, my jacket, my undershirt, put them in the chest with my bag, and put the robe on.
Okay. And they guide you over this surgical table. And say, Master, if you please lay down. And you can see, as you're approaching the table, that there are shackles. As, almost like you'd see, well, again, in any horror movie, Frankenstein, whatever, they're padded. He says,
for my comfort.
no, for your safety. For your safety, Master. This is not going to be a painless procedure.
What, you can't, knock me out? Hit me over the head with a bludgeoning tool?
We're talking about magic. We need you to be there with us.
Varys takes a moment and he looks like he's reconsidering the whole thing. And he asks for a moment. And he's gonna pace about.
Master,
walk
if
around
it-
the table,
if it will
walk around the
help.
table and shh. He's gonna look around the table, examine it.
The imp does trot off over to a cabinet at the side of the room, rifles through some bottles, and he brings a little vial over to you. And he says, "This'll help."
What is this?
That is a vial of bravery.
A vial of bravery. Well, couldn't hurt, I guess. Huh?
So this is a fucking awesome potion. You're like, fuck it, just tell me what needs to happen. I'll rip the fucker off myself. You feel like 5 feet taller than you actually were before. Your chest is bigger now. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah. You pat the imp on the head. Hey.
Ready to go, eh?
You're almost tempted to reach up to the priest and gut your nose. But you think twice of it because he does not look like one with a sense of humor. So
I guess at that point I'm just gonna like, fuck it, hop onto the table, like put my hands down where they need to be.
So the imp, not being very tall, is kind of looking over the top. He's buckling you in. It's not horribly tight. It's not painful, but you can tell that it's going to hold you in place. The priest comes over, and he says, "If you please, master." And he opens up your shirt, exposing both the Paiza and the runes. And he steps back behind the machine, and both the imp and the priest put on goggles.
Wait a minute.
Master, if you, it might be better if we
You
give
got
you
some
some
shades?
Let's give you some goggles also. So they get these goggles, and they put them on you, and everything just turns green. It's not like night vision green, but just they're green tinted. And then the arms of the machine just start moving around. It's like a weird Edward Scissorhands type thing going on. And you see one come down. You can't exactly see what's going on down on your chest, but you can feel something clamp onto the Paiza. And it starts pulling, and you can feel the cutting, and it's ripping, and the pain starts growing, and it's burning. And it is quite painful, and then we're going to skip through that because it's just, I'm not going to sit here and describe pain to you. You know what pain feels like. It's one of the most painful physical things you've ever been through.
Glad you added that in there. Because Versus been through some quite painful things, I'll have you know.
And then, as quickly as it started, then some of the arms of the machine come down and start cooling the area. And then some other machines come in, and you can feel it actually doing little cuts over the part that it cooled. And now the pain's gone away, but you can still feel it cutting. And when it stops, all the arms to retract back, the imp comes over. He unbuckles your shackles and says, "Master, if you'd like, I'll show you your room, because when the potion wears off, you may have some discomfort, and then you can leave in the morning."
So as the arms were retracting, did I see one of them with the Paiza?
It took the Paiza off.
Okay.
So the Paiza is gone, and you can't exactly see what's been done yet, but they are offering to, they've let you off the table. The imp walks over and he's starting to drag the trunk behind you. Up the stairs, master. Thunk, ka-thunk, ka-thunk. He's just really slow behind you. You get to the top, wait for like 5 minutes for him to catch it. Ka-thunk, 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 ka-thunk. He gets to the top. Oh, and what do we got here? Oh, hey.
Yeah, very mama.
So
I've been talking.
So he gets you up to the landing. One of the guards walks up and then just picks up the trunk. And imp's all happy and shit. He goes running off towards the grand staircase. "This way, master, this way." And he leads you up the grand staircase.
Okay.
And they come to these, at the top of the stairs, come to a pair of doors. And he flings the doors open, and it's the very opulent royal suite, so to speak. And over the bed, you see a giant flaming sword carved into the wood.
I recognize this sword.
And
Okay.
the imp puts the case down, and he says, "I'll be back in an hour with your dinner," and he jets.
I take another look around the room to really just take it all in, and I'm kind of drawn to the flaming sword. I recognize this sword, right?
It's a theme here in this building, and yes, you do. It's
Not just
reminiscent
the building,
of the
I've seen
Ezercorp sword.
That's what I thought.
There is in this room also a large desk with all of the writing implements you would need. Parchments. There's blank books. There's a library of books in this room, separate from the one downstairs. Very old texts. Most of them in languages you can't even read what the letters are. But otherwise, opulent room, beautiful, just hardwoods and polished stone, silks,
Finest
all the
of
comforts.
everything. Yes. I'm going while I wait. I'm going to head over to the writing desk, and just in the off case, or in the off chance that this is a dream, or not a dream, I'm gonna scrawl out everything that's happened, essentially.
Good, good.
Let it dry, roll it up, and
Oh, there's the works. There's the drying sand stuff that they use. It's all there. I mean, it's all there.
damn.
I mean, I'm sure if you rang the little bell, somebody come in there and fan it for you. I mean, this.
Nice. Well, I don't ring the bell, but I do write out everything. Make sure it's dry, roll it up, or tri-fold it, and pocket it.
Okay.
Or rather, I'm still shirtless, so
Oh, and then you do note that there is clothing laid out on the bed for you.
is it as opulent as everything in the
Oh
room?
yeah.
Okay.
It is so various.
As I'm heading over there, I see this clothing. Oh, just
Silk
Oh,
brocade.
yes.
You see our background that we've
my
already got. That we
great
got here. Yes, it's
taste.
just-
What is this? It's amazing. Just like looking at the detail
Yeah,
on
it's-
the buttons
it's a
and just
really
the
good-
seam
yeah.
work and it's
Top-
beautiful.
Yeah, top of the line shit.
I'm gonna adorn those clothes. Yeah, that's Paris is all about pristine clothing.
There is a full-length mirror beside the door that you came in.
Just button up. After
It is a button-up doublet.
Okay.
I can show you pictures, but let's not worry about that right now.
After buttoning, I realized I just had an operation, and I was distracted by writing and clothing. So I'll go over to that mirror that I just noticed, unbutton my shirt, and take a look at the damage that has been done.
You can see that the Paiza, where it had been embedded into your flesh, has miraculously completely healed.
So it looks
so
like
the-
my chest.
So it looks like your chest, but now instead of having the magical symbols all over on one side of your chest, it covers the entire chest. So there's more there on your chest now than what is on the floors of the temples when you enter them, when they start to glow. So there's more there than what was before.
So it's extended.
Yes.
Okay.
All the way across.
Now, are these? Is it like scarification, or is it more along the lines of a magical tattoo?
Really? It's the opposite of a scar. It's it is tattoos. I mean, they are tattooed, but they're also cut in. So you can see the relief. So imagine if someone were to carve letters into something, that's what these are like. They're really thin, they're delicate. That's what the original was like also. Very thin, very articulated. I mean, they're very, the craft with which they were added was amazing.
Done by a master of the craft.
With a machine.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, but even a person using a machine is still in charge of that machine.
It's a knife printer.
Knife printer.
Just subtracting a little
Stay
bit.
still a moment. We're gonna print some.
It works,
we're gonna
works
print
similar
some
to
things into your
it works
flesh.
similar to the laser printer that I use on a regular basis.
Okay.
Except it added a little bit of color.
Okay.
Maybe even a little bit shimmery, iridescent. So it's not one specific color, but you know the original wasn't really one specific color either.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you remember that when we had the sheet that had a picture of it around here somewhere, but I don't know what it's on now. So, TikTok, time passes. Time passes oddly here anyway.
Just I'm there for a good at least like 5 minutes, maybe even like 10, 15.
You're starting to.
Like getting closer to the mirror and,
Well, you're-
and looking at the whole thing.
You're also coming down off the bravery. That's coming down, and you're feeling a little bit paranoid, but you realize it's probably just a side effect of coming down off of this potion. And time does not seem right. It's just doesn't seem steady. But again, that's a symptom of the place you're in. There's a tap at the door. Master, may I enter?
You may.
He comes in, he's carrying a big ass tray. And he carries it over to the desk. And he sets it down on the desk and says, "It's all your favorites, Master. And if there's anything else you need, just go ahead and ring the bell." And he trots back off and closes the door.
So essentially what I'm seeing here is like a big salad with all sorts of fruits and vegetables on the side.
Well, first off, there's a lot of covered dishes.
Okay.
And every time you uncover a dish, it is exactly what you expect it to be under it.
I need one of those at home.
And there's like 15 small dishes on here, and every time you uncover, it's like, oh, this has got to be, oh yeah, oh shit, yeah. Oh hell yeah. So and yeah, everything is exactly what you wanted it to be before you even pulled the top off of it.
I'm gonna start with the goddamn salad right in the middle.
Okay.
You know, throw some olives in there. Throw some cheese on that. You know, seeds, grains.
For a moment,
what have you.
you can't figure out what else you want to add in there, and you lift up a lid, and there's what should have been there. It's just all right there, as exactly it should have been.
My favorite dressing, just over
Yeah,
here. Oh,
exactly.
Yes,
This is it's all
pristine.
exactly. And
Poured over there.
and then you realize
Don't
you
grab a fork.
think to yourself,
Oh,
oh, that
yes.
Jazzy, what a great fucking guy.
I'll have to remember to thank him for this.
Oh, if I could just take some selfies and send it to him.
But I can.
So it's you're starting to feel a little bit of the pain. You're worn down. You're tired. The bed's looking really good. He comes back a short time later and collects your dishes when you're done. This is
Imp, creature,
Master.
might I have your name?
I wrote it down this time. Can't pronounce it though. Enemeklepta. Enemeklepta.
I take a moment, like, I'm going to call you Klepta.
As you wish, Master.
Come over here for a moment, Klepta. And I hold up my hand, just thank you for your efforts today.
Just doing my job. Just the fact that you appreciate what I have done is thanks enough for the hundreds of years we've been waiting for you.
Gee, dear God. Hundreds of years. Here I am, a youngin' at, just, coming on 100 years old.
I'm sure it'll pass by like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna thank him one more time.
He said, "I'm sorry, Master. I can't draw you a bath. You shouldn't get it wet for another 24 hours.
Don't worry,
If there's
I'm
anything,
exhausted.
if there's anything else you need, if you need it, I mean, we can get some musicians in here to play for you. as you fall asleep if you'd like.
No.
He's ready. He's throwing all kinds of goofy ass shit out to you.
I'm a heavy sleeper. Don't worry about it. I'll be okay. Once I put my head on a pillow, I'm gonna be out. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Have a good night.
And I want you to do a perception check at disadvantage.
Well, I'll give you my total, and you can minus whatever you need to.
You roll it twice, and you take the lowest.
Oh. That was a 1, by the way.
Well, that one works. That's.
And let me see if I can.
See if you can
reproduce
get
one
lower?
now.
Okay.
So that would have been. My perception is 6, I think, so 7.
For a very short moment, you feel as if something is making you levitate under the covers, and then everything goes black, and suddenly the bed is uncomfortable.
Delightful.
So you all have to forgive us. We don't have a producer here tonight. It's just Varys and the DM finishing up this one little side project after last night's unfortunate little implosion. Implosion, I guess.
Yeah,
I'd call it
that'd
an
be pretty
implosion.
accurate.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, it sucked everything into it could. So
Yeah, whenever you have a spatially enchanted object, and you put that spatially enchanted object inside another spatially enchanted object, it essentially creates a very temporary but still potent black hole, if you will. And it immediately transports everything within a 10 by 10 cubed area to the astral plane.
if you want to copy down his name, that's it right there.
Klepto, yes.
So, as I said before, the bed is
Uncomfortable for some reason.
not comfortable. The sheets are extremely scratchy. There's a smell. And
I would like to think that I would crawl out and just sleep on top of the sheets at that point.
well, as your eyes crack open, you can see the chest that was drug up to the room with you
Mm-hmm.
is there, but you're not in the same room. You're in a very low class stone room with a cot that is, the mattress is straw filled. The bed linens are very, very low thread count and coarse and not very comfortable. More used to what you've been dealing with since you've been traveling. And there is a simple candle over at the side of the room and a door. There is a window. There is a window at the side, and it is nighttime.
And you said my chest is in there?
Well, both the chest
Yeah.
and
Well,
your
that-
chest is there.
Yes. The wooden chest in which I had placed my item.
Yes.
Okay. I wake up kind of flabbergasted. What?
There is a musty smell. You can faintly smell pig shit from outside. The window is open. It is summer.
I walk over to the window and take a gander.
The nearest you can tell, you are inside the keep and in the keep that you passed the day before.
So I recognize the mountains and whatnot that we walked past.
Well,
there.
you recognize
The style.
what the keep must have looked like inside
So
from
the-
outside. I
So
mean,
the architecture is
Yes.
similar on the inside.
Yes.
Okay.
similar banners flying.
after a few moments of just like, what kind of mentality, I remember that I scrolled down what had happened, and stowed it. I'm going to go to try to retrieve those papers and see if they actually exist.
They are there.
And it's like, okay, all right. And you know, I unbutton my chest. Do I still have those amazing clothes?
The clothes, no,
the
because
clothes I
you were
adore.
in bed clothes.
Okay.
You're in bed clothes, but the clothes that were laid out for you are in the trunk,
Okay.
along with your other belongings that you had with you.
Well, I'm not gonna leave without these clothes, so you know, I change into my
clothes?
well, not even necessarily. Well, yes and no.
The new
So
dead.
I always wear my armor underneath of whatever I'm wearing.
Don't we all?
Well, we do. We really do. And I will adorn those fantastic duds that were left for me. Yeah.
What type of armor you have? You got a breastplate?
No.
Okay.
I still have my
body armor.
body armor,
Okay,
my armored
okay.
clothing.
Okay, so yeah, the body armor will fit under it. If you were to be wearing like a cuirass, it would not fit under that.
No, I still have
Okay.
very much futuristic armor.
Well, not futuristic for you.
Well, no, I still have very modern armor.
Okay. So at this point, we're going to stop where we're at, because this is the point at which you would probably meet back up with your group. So next week, guys, thanks for joining us.